Let me say this right. This is Jamara's show. You know, we just had the regular. That's right. That's right. We just had to interrupt regular scheduled programming because we're doing part of our narrative series, Our Narrative, Meet the Chiefs of SCS. And last week we met Miss Beth Phelan. Excellent job. But today, when we got to say Chief, his name got Chief in it. So we have with us, I want to say he's Memphis born and raised, but he's been to D.C. in different places. I mean, his name rings bells across the country. I mean, the guy, as soon as I met him, he was working. So I want to introduce you, all that's listening right now on Facebook, on Twitter, on the radio. We have the chief of all chiefs, the chief of staff, Mr. Brian Stockton.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Glad to be here, sir. Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here, brother.
All right, now, Jamar.
Yes.
Now, she did a little research on you, man. She did a little something now. So, Jamar, I want you to go ahead and take it away.
I see that you're a Central High School graduate.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that experience there, what's going on there?
Now, Central was a college prep school, and I was actually, I hope I don't make any Hamilton people mad. I was supposed to go to Hamilton. That's where I was District 2. But again, I was a part of the college prep program at Bellevue Junior High School.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to continue that feeder pattern to go to Central, and I think Central really prepared me for, because when I got to college, my first year of college was almost easy because I went to Central High School.
That's nice. That's fantastic. That's always a great thing.
Ma'am.
So after Central, you decided you wanted to go to college and do...
Well, actually, after Central, I wanted to do what you guys are doing.
Uh-oh.
I took broadcasting at Central as one of the classes, and my mother, basically when I was a child, my mom used to dress me till I was about till I was about in third grade. I'm sorry to put that out there. I wasn't mentally challenged or nothing, but she dressed me. But she always dressed me as we watched the Today Show. And the Today Show had a guy that looked like me. His name was Brian Gumble. And at the same time, I wanted to be seen and heard. That's what I wanted to do. And at the same time, my mom worked at a radio station. Even though I was never on the radio, but just being around that, broadcasting was the route that I chose to go. And however, when I graduated from college, Howard University, by the way.
Howard. You just can't say Howard University. The Howard University.
The Howard University. It's a fine college.
Yes.
And I felt like Howard gave me a head start. But when I graduated from Howard, I was a writer, again, broadcast journalism, and Dow Jones came to visit. And I thought they were looking for writers, but they were looking for people in the fixed income side of the house to understand financials. And so basically with that being the case, my career changed from being a broadcast journalist to being more like a fixed income analyst type of person.
Oh, wow.
And actually, if that had not happened, I would not be sitting here with you all today.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a nice turn in my career that allowed me to understand financials, understand leadership, and all these other things that I'm able to bring back to Shelby County Schools and to actually, make it successful.
Yeah. So you worked for a company called Serco in D.C.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were boosting morale in the company and things of that nature?
Absolutely. I'll tell you more about that. Actually, what I was doing is I was a vice president at Citigroup at the time, and I was just looking for a change, and basically I was vice president of commercial banking training. And so what I did was I would also boost morale at the same time. But they had a CEO who actually is a friend of mine. His name is Dan Allen, and he's actually retiring this May. He came on board 3 months before and they had about a 30% attrition rate at the time. And they were looking for someone to do leadership development, organizational development, and talk to the people. And he brought me on board. And when I first got there, my first day on the job, he said, I'm sending you to Kansas City to fight off from Union. I said, well, you didn't talk about that in the interview. And so I went out there and I just listened. I just leaned in. The same thing I'm doing here in Memphis. I just leaned in and listened to what people's concerns were. And actually, I just came back. And the CEO, even though he hired me, he wasn't spending any time with me. But he went back out there 2 weeks later. And he said, man, what did you do? And basically, we fought off the Union and did those things. And so basically, I'm a specialist in leadership. I study leadership. I'm a leadership theorist. And however, this opportunity here at SCS has allowed me to actually take the theory and put it into action and make it more practical. And I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Wow. So what's in the secret sauce for boosting morale in a school system, one of the largest school systems in the nation?
The word I would like to use, this is no secret. I think it's something that all of us know, is empathy. Basically, putting myself in the parents' shoes, kids' shoes, seeing through their eyes. Because if you had a child that's, if you have a lot of children that are languishing in school, I want to put myself in their shoes to see how I could actually make it better. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of parents that have kids out there that said, I wish that school would do this, I wish the school system would do that. Well, I try to look from that lens and try to make it a better situation. But beyond that, because we are in the children business or the education business, but I also want to make, help the superintendent make SCS one of the best places to work.
That's right. That's right.
And if you can make it one of the best places to work, beyond just the administration, the teachers who are closest to the children, who are making the difference, if it's a place where they want to get up every morning to go to educate these children, that's the kind of influence that I want to have on this organization.
All right.
Well, there you have it. That's we call that the intro. That's the intro right there. That's the intro. And thank you, Jamar, for bringing out those great points about our brother Brian Stockton. Now, my thing is, in family that's listening, like I said, when I met him, he was working. And I knew he was working because sometimes, you can be suited and booted, got your suit on, but when you got the cufflinks up, you got the jacket off, arms, sleeves rolled up, I said, man, this man is working. And then I saw him at Southwind High School when he spoke, and he said, these the words, and everybody listen to this. He said, I want to change the dynamic, I believe. You said before it was superintendent, the board, central office, principals, teachers, then the students. He said in front of every principal, students first, then the teachers, then the principals, then central office, then the superintendent.
Absolutely.
And when you said that, man, that captivated me because that let me know you really changed. You started to change from that moment. Can you speak on what were you doing by saying that? Like, what did that mean?
Well, I think, when I first came here, there was the word was laced with, it was low morale across the district. And basically, we had, I think through the merger and the demerger, basically there's maybe a lot of confusion. But the superintendent did a great job holding this thing together. He did an excellent job. And but what I was trying to do was refocus everyone's mindset of why we get up every morning. We get up every morning for these children.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's all about. And so we can make a difference in this city. And also, I can't believe you remember that. But also what we did as well, Kim Harris, Dorsey's executive assistant, and also Tiffany Crutchfield, we did a new org chart. And in that org chart, the children go above the superintendent. Because, again, this is what the superintendent, he's providing great leadership to these children, to these teachers, and that's why we're going to turn this thing around. But also in that conversation, my first conversation was about trust.
Trust, right. Okay.
And so basically we have to create a district where people trust us. Because, one of the analogies I said, when trust goes up, speed goes up and costs go down. I'm not talking about just like financial costs, but costs of morale and all those other things.
Right.
People have to trust what we're doing at the district, that it's in the best interest for teachers and, most important, the students and the parents. And so we want to make that difference when it came to trust. There was one more thing I wanted to say about trust was that, how can I say this?
It's your station, man. You gotta say what you need to say. The people are listening.
But when it comes to trust, we wanted to make sure that again, through the merger and the demerger, I think there's a lot of distrust, and we want to change that. And also, in the way I look at this thing, the principals, the schools that are out there, we have 170 schools, right? And the way I look at it, the analogy I use is those schools are military installations, just like we're looking at the Army or something, right? However, the board right here on 160 Hollywood, that's the Pentagon. Our job at the board is to make sure all of these schools, all of these principals, all of these teachers, and also the parents at the same time have all the resources they need to get the job done. And because one way for a successful project to fail is to skim it of resources. And so basically, that's why the children and the parents are at the top. So we can provide the resources to help them get their job done. And the superintendent is doing a great job with the budget. I don't mean to change it.
No, because that's what we had. He said right into it because that was coming.
The superintendent's doing a great job with the budget, and with that, he's providing more resources. As far as physical, facilities resources, more importantly, educational resources with literacy and numeracy coaches, with assistants and everything, behavioral specialists, because we understand that Memphis is one of the, how could I say, there's a study that came out. Memphis is one of these, there are two high poverty districts. There's Sumter, South Carolina, and Shelby County, Tennessee. And so with that being the case, we have to make sure that we are providing the resources to these teachers and to these schools to make sure they're getting the job done. But let me say this too. You know, with us being a high poverty district, ladies and gentlemen, we have a sustained crisis that we have to turn this city around and turn this district around. That's why I work 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
To make sure that everyone's getting what they need to make this thing happen. And like I said, there's an immediate crisis where you react. You, like, let's say, for instance, a person has a heart attack or something, they go to the hospital, right?
Right.
That's the immediate crisis. But the sustained crisis is that you have to change the way you eat. You have to exercise. You have to do different things. And so basically, since I've been here and working under the superintendent's leadership, we're trying to change the mindset, change the work habits, provide them with the resources to actually help us to get through this sustained crisis, and we can turn this bad boy around. And I think we're doing it.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why, and I'm glad you said it, because if you get the mindset, you get the changing of the mindset, you get the buy-in, and you got teachers now like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's focusing on the students. Yes, I'm happy now. This is where it should be. And then you come in and you say these things. I mean, teachers are fired up, principals are fired up. And now a year later, here we are. We got a balanced budget. We're not laying any teachers off. We get to keep jobs. The superintendent came with something explosive with the framework. So we're not closing schools.
Absolutely
we're reinvesting in schools. So that budget piece, and a big shout out to Lynn Johnson and his team, because it seems like, man, you can walk with a little smile knowing that a budget is balanced.
Absolutely. This has been number one. This is a testament to Dorsey E. Hobson's leadership.
That's right.
That's no doubt about it.
Let's be clear.
This is a testament to Dorsey's hospital leadership. Lynn Johnson has been an integral part of that. And basically, last year, we went down to the county and we were short. They were going to, there was a gap at the time.
Right.
But at the same time, what you saw in the news 2 weeks ago, you saw the superintendent present that balanced budget, and also Lynn Johnson. That was a year in the making. That wasn't nothing that we basically just woke with. Ooh, all right, we got a balanced budget.
Right.
No,
some allegory.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how did we get here?
Right.
No, it's Dorsey's leadership. It's Lynn's hard work. And all of my teachers. I got to get a shout out.
No, shout out time, man.
I got to give a shout out to Natalia Powers.
Yes, sir.
Basically, she does a great job looking around corners, communicating. Because what we're doing with Natalia, she has the ability to actually see around corners before things get there. But also, what she's doing is a lot of times in communication, if we don't tell our own story, people make up their story.
Exactly.
I was at church recently, and I talked to her and said, "Oh, SCS." I said, "Well, tell me one thing wrong." She said, "Oh, I don't know." But and so people are making up their own story. But Natalia is actually telling our story. Leon Patman, internal audit. Oh my God, we auditing every school, make sure everybody has a clean audit. We make sure our financials are fine. John Williams, our CIO, working on a new ERP system. Try to make sure our systems are working together well. Beth Phelan, you just had on here last week. Man, we're lucky to have her. She is, just a true wonder to work with. She has a lot of expertise, and she brings, I would say, Deloitte and Touche type of talent to our organization. If you look at it, this is over a $900 million budget with 13,000 employees, over 100,000 students. We have to make sure we have the right expertise in place.
That's
right. When I was out one time and talking to some people here in Memphis, and they say, you guys need to do this, you need to do that. Sometimes people become, you got a million Dorsey Hobsons in this city.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
But there's
yes,
only
sir.
one Dorsey Hobson.
There's only one.
There's only one Dorsey Hobson. But the thing is, my response to, when they were talking about organization, we know what we're doing. And Dorsey, and you see the news lately, knock on wood.
Yes, sir.
If you see the news lately, you are seeing the results of great expertise, great leadership, and turning this thing around. And so, and what you're doing every day, John, going by the schools with the donuts and the coffee, those are just the small, minute things that we're doing to help boost morale. Right. And if I may, do I need an interview?
No, you good. Look, come on, man. You the chief of staff, man. Come on, man. This is your time.
But one thing we did when we first got here to address this morale thing, we started something called a staff morale meetings. And so it was a collection of principals and teachers. We would bring in my colleague, Anassa Franklin. We would actually meet with them and just, again, lean in. We didn't lean away. Lean away is like, oh, I don't care what you're talking about. No, we lean in to listen to see what the issues were. Like too many initiatives, not enough PD. And so we work with academics to try to get those things turned around. And so basically, if you're going to turn morale around, you have to listen and lean in to the people who are closest to the work.
That's
and
right.
basically, and that's what we're doing. We haven't stopped. And I truly hope that our teachers, our administrators, hope we're being a defibrillator to just bring everybody back to life. But we're going to need everybody back to life to fix this sustained crisis that we have here.
Right, because we can't fix it if we're standing still or, feeling like I don't want to do nothing because they did me wrong and now they just stuck. Instead of we need to be moving.
Superintendent Baby Man, what I say there is go home. We need people. Like I said, we need the children that we serve are the next, John Best. They're the next person who's going to be doing an interview here.
Right.
They're going to be the next doctors and lawyers, politicians.
They're going to replace us.
They're going to replace us. And basically, if we want to have a great society, if we want to have a great Memphis, we got to make sure that we're educating these children and doing the best that we can to make it. Because these are when we get older, these are going to be the people that we're listening to on 88.5.
That's right.
So we have to make sure we're doing a good job.
Man, and see, and you handled that so perfectly because being that we're telling we're doing this thing with telling our narrative.
Yes, sir.
It's like, who can tell a story better than the people inside the house?
Absolutely.
I don't know where you live, but you say if I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, I can kind of guesstimate, and I can talk about it. But if I'm not in that house, I really can't tell the real story. So imagine if we get we telling our own story. All these schools, we got 170 schools, he said.
Absolutely.
It's something going on at every school. With these donuts, I've been to 37 schools. At each school, education is taking place. I mean, just everywhere, and it's a feeling because it feel like we're down on the I would say the ground floor with the teachers where the war is at. They are showing up every day in spite of whatever conditions to teach our babies, and I'm getting an appreciation from that.
Great leadership shows appreciation, and the Dorsey's in schools,
Right.
Thanking teachers, thanking principals, thanking employees. When you show appreciation, people want to work.
Right.
Because you see that you value the things that they're doing. And Dorsey's doing a great job showing appreciation. But what you're doing is a big lift, too.
Well, man, look, I'm here to do it. What you say? We got to work 14 hours. 14 hours. But speaking of work, I want to carry on with one other thing about the superintendent's summer learning academy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, can you? We're gonna have a press conference about it tomorrow. But can you just touch on for our listeners? Give us like an overview of that because that's big.
This is humongous. What the superintendent is doing. Of course, we're going to have summer school. But again, like I said, we want to make sure our kids are smart. Basically, they go into college and make sure they understand the core standards.
Right.
And so to improve that, the superintendent thought it'd be a great idea to start the summer learning program. It's going to be a full day, right? In the morning, I think, and I haven't looked at it recently, in the morning it's going to be literacy. And also in the afternoon it's going to be, in the morning it's going to be numeracy, and in the afternoon it's going to be literacy. We're going to have before care and after care. We're going to feed these kids. But however, at the same time, we're going to educate these kids. And at the same time, we're going to enrich them to be ready for when the school year starts in August. When they're ready to take tests, we're going to blow these test scores out the roof, I hope. And but however, let me say this about what the superintendent's doing. The right activities will yield the right results. By doing the summer learning program, enriching our children over the summer to make sure they are, and we're doing this for, like I said, they don't have to pay for this. They're going to come. By doing this, guys, we're going to ensure that we have future leaders in this organization. So that's going to be a big win for us. And also, there's going to be like a bridge learning program for the secondary students as well. But what we're looking to do is provide enrichment over the summer. But when these kids get back, man, they are ready to rock and roll, is what we're going to try to do here. But let me talk about the residual benefit of this.
Come on. Listen.
The residual benefit is that the crime in Memphis is ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
And the superintendent is showing leadership through education to try to curb that. And so instead of kids being at home, on the streets during the day, having idle time, we're going to be educating them. That's the brilliant thing of this whole thing. Not only is it going to enrich them, but it's going to keep them involved, keep them learning. And at the same time, we're going to do our part. The superintendent is doing his part to help curb violence in this city. And this is one way to do it.
See that?
I think it's important for students to be kind of goal-driven, right?
Absolutely.
So instead of focusing so much on metrics, they'll know why they're doing it. And I think that's what the beauty of that program. It
Absolutely.
seems like they know, you're setting a goal, say, I want to be the next John Best. Well, this is what you need to do in order to get there.
Absolutely.
So that program is going to be fantastic, I believe.
We have to show kids the path of how to get there. And since I'm on radio, whoever was listening, whatever vehicle you listen to this thing, and especially if you're in Memphis, we need your help. We need to. There's the Team Read. There's a Rise to Read. We don't, not kind of Shelby County Schools. No, you help Shelby County Schools.
Right.
These children are your children.
Yep.
And basically when you talk about these children are bad, well, you know what? You can do something about it. And so we're doing something about it. And so, but and I encourage all the adults who are listening right now, when you see a child, ask them what school they go to. Ask them what they want to be when they grow up. Ask them what they aspire to be, and show them a path, a way that they can do it. And I'm calling on all our role models as well in this.
Come on now,
our
come on.
Politicians, our preachers, everyone. Come volunteer, make it happen. Even though this is our job to educate these kids, but it's everybody's responsibility.
Everybody.
And so don't walk around here all important with your suits on and everything. Think important. It's important to make sure we get these kids educated.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And now, before we get out of here,
wow, that was quick, man.
but you see, hey, time flies when you're having fun. That's what they say, right? Hey, time flies. Now, just this one topic that's current right now. We board member Love took 2 bus loads up to Nashville for the voucher bill situation, and she personally told me she never saw the turnout so big. Okay, and it was students, parents, teachers, everybody came up. And when she came back, we came on the air and we talked about it, right? And Mr. Stockton, a parent, when I asked her, I said, what do we have to do at Shelby County Schools? Not looking outwardly. What would we need to do to maybe that parent that may be undecided come 2017-18 for the school year, what could we do? And Mr. Stockton, her words were verbatim as this: y'all tell us what y'all doing, but you got to show us what y'all doing. So when she said that, immediately my mind went to, okay, so you mean you want to see, she said, a robotics program? Let parents see that. Show the class, show the teacher or the student playing with robotics. And I took it to heart because now that's in our area. And I kind of felt that from a couple of other parents saying we want to see more of what's going on. Yes, they love the story of the dog at the blind boy or some walking to school, but it's like the real work that's going on that the superintendent keeps talking about. It's like we need to up our efforts to get that information out there.
Perfect, man. You want one thing. Let me say this first. Stephanie Love is a joy to work with. And she is an activist.
Yes, sir.
She cares.
Yes, sir.
She's she's not a person who's like, I just want to be on the school board and politics. No, she wants to make a difference.
That's right.
So the work that she's doing with the vouchers is a fantastic thing. John, I think what we're doing, and I talked about Natalia before, and make sure I talk about my other colleagues.
Because they're going to come back at you.
I got a meeting at 2 o'clock to see all of them, so I got to make sure. I got to make sure I give them all shout-outs. But, we're doing we're doing a better job of telling our story, as you said before.
Right.
What's happening at East. With the new STEM program that we're having over there, and also the success we're already having at Maxine Smith STEAM Academy over here.
Right around the corner.
We have to let people know we have options.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
We have options, like we have our optional schools. We have our fine arts programs.
Right.
CTE. We have to tell our narrative a little bit more. And so, again, I think, we're doing a merger and demerger. Let me tell you, everyone who's listening to me, that's over.
Over with.
We're moving the ball forward now. So don't think about that anymore. Right. But what we they have to tell people about the options, tell them about the great teachers that we have. We have to talk about Dr. Vincent Hunter last year.
The
Empowerment Zone. And I guess the actions speak louder than words. I guess this is what this parent said.
Right.
But last year, and it's a great athletic program over there. But they garnered $124 million in academic scholarships.
Yes, sir.
That's saying we're doing something.
Yes, sir.
That's saying that you don't have to go to another programs, kind of whatever program
Right.
they have here in the city. That's saying that we can do it right here. You have Central, you have Whitehaven, you have White Station, you have so many great schools here, and we have to do a better job promoting what we're doing, not those feel-good stories,
Right.
but educational stories that shows achievement.
There
and
it
that's,
is.
and that's what we're going to do.
Right.
And hopefully people are seeing it right now. I did speak with someone a couple weeks ago. He said, man, I'm mad at you. You guys are not talking about all the good things. You guys got a lot of good things going on over there. So that's why we're working with you, John.
Yes, sir.
Because you're helping us tell that story.
Yes.
And when it comes to vouchers, this is a very political thing.
Right.
If you ask me. I talked about the budget, and I talked about all the educational resources that Superintendent Hobson's adding to make us a better, even better district than we are right now. There's no other reason to go to another school district. We have it right here. This is one of the finest school districts in the country.
Right.
What Dorsey Hobson says all the time is that he wants us to be the greatest.
That's right.
There's nothing better than the greatest. And so when I say that, I looked at a quote. We are, if you say something about what's happening at Shelby County Schools, we're running for good, and we're chasing greatness. And that's what we're trying to do here. And that's what we're going to do. Because we're doing our part in the city to make sure that we provide productive citizens. But then I go back, I guess the end is the beginning, empathy. As long as we as leaders look through the lenses of these parents, these children, we're making it a better place. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, let me give my shout-outs.
Get your shout-outs there, because you got to make sure you get them on.
I'm watching the clock here at the same time. But I also want to, like I said, I talked about Leon Papman. I talked about Natalia. I talked about John Williams. I talked about Beth. We went Lynn Johnson. He is the financial wizard that help us, get a balanced budget.
Chief Darling.
Oh, Chief Darling, my God, man, he's a stalwart. We have somebody.
Too.
Exactly. Chief Darling, let me say this. All the violence are going on in the city. Let me knock on wood here.
Yes, sir.
Violence and suspensions and conflict in our schools are down. It's because of Chief Darling and what he's done. All right. Also, my colleague Jeanette Small in HR.
Yep.
My God, she's doing great things. We had that recruitment day down at the music college down there. Tears almost came out of my eyes just to see the excitement. She's doing a fantastic job. Did I forget anybody? I don't think I did.
Dr. Griffin.
Oh my God! Now that's for itself. That's a whole show.
That's a whole show. And she's supposed to be next. Now,
she's next.
She's supposed to be next.
But let me get better because she gonna make people forget about this interview.
Okay.
But she's let me tell you something. We are truly blessed to have Dr. Sharon Griffin. When I say someone with empathy, who cares about children, succeeding, born and raised, educated, Lemoyne, University of Memphis, we could not have a better person. She is nationally recognized as one of the 15 top 15 educators in the country.
Yes.
To learn from.
And she's the chief of our schools.
Look at that.
Now, again, that goes back to that parent. We can show you.
We can show you.
We can show you. We have some of the best expertise. We're trying to make it. Let me tell you something. This is no sales job. We're doing this, people. And we're trying to make it happen.
Now, also, because we said this is our narratives, meet the SCS chiefs.
Sure.
When we had Beth on, she told us about her position. I want to make it clear so that as you tell and inform the listeners when we say Chief Stockton or when they hear the Chief of Staff of Shelby County Schools, what does all that entail? Like, what's your function so we can make sure our listeners know exactly what you're doing?
That's an excellent question. My job on paper is to supervise the other chiefs that run other departments. But we have such great expertise. We're partners. We're collaborators. And let me say one other thing. Not a personal title, so let me say I'm more staff than chief. That's why I work 14 hours a day to try to make this thing turn around. Right. With that, but what I do is in my way I see my role and what I do in my role is basically to actually take on the day-to-day activities that would normally go to the superintendent's office. And let me tell you why I do that. Dorsey is a great leader, and a great leader cannot provide vision and direction and make great decisions if they're bogged down with day-to-day activities. So I see my role as providing cushion for the superintendent for him to provide great leadership and direction. And when people work for someone who doesn't have leadership and direction, well, they get stagnant and everything. But my job is to provide that cushion for the superintendent so he can be the best leader he can be to turn this district around and make us one of the greatest districts in this country. So that's the way, in layman's terms.
In layman's terms, right, and that's what we need.
Yeah, in layman's terms, my job is to provide that man with cushion, so he can actually lead and do the job and make decisions and be out there promoting SCS like he was yesterday with green slime all over.
Oh yeah, green slime
so,
everywhere.
and to try to do those things. But that is the crust of my position. Like it's on paper to supervise, but we're more collaborative. But again, it's more important to provide him cushion. I may look I've gained about 10 pounds. I got a few more gray hairs now. But as long as he could be a great leader, I don't care.
And I think that trickles down because I feel the same way. You know, it's like if he's down here doing his work, we all should be doing our work. And other thing I wanted to touch on because I get this, at all the stops with the donuts and coffee.
Yes, sir.
The teachers, I'm feeling them. I'm feeling the vibe when I walk in the building. And all of the vibes been good. One of the things that a lot of teachers are saying, because I don't know how informed they are, because somebody may have told them something and they running with it. They were like, yes, the donuts and coffee is great. We appreciate it. And they want to find out about, they say our raises. And I said, yes, the superintendent, didn't you pay attention to the budget? He got some money set aside for teacher raises. But is there some words that you can share with teachers? Because I know everybody wants stuff to happen so fast.
Sure.
What's something a message for the teachers, about, hold on and keep doing what you're doing, because the superintendent see the work, but it's just don't happen overnight.
I got a good word. You don't have to hold on that long. Basically, Trinette Small, my great colleague I just spoke of, she just presented a new compensation plan to our board to take a look at. Basically, where again, if a person has a degree, they get a stipend for that as well. Because for a while, we were not, we weren't incentivizing people if they had degrees. So we're bringing some of those things back.
Right.
Some of the things that worked in the district as far as compensation to attract employees, basically, we're bringing those things back. So we have a new compensation model that's coming out very soon.
Right.
But this is the first time we gave the teachers a 3% raise back in December. It was retro back to the summer.
Come on now.
All right.
Yes, sir.
At the same time, we gave our just non-instructional employees a 2% increase that they had not seen in 4 years. And so with them, I would say, well, the donuts are fine. However, we are working hard every day, and that compensation model basically will be presented to the public soon. And basically, when they see that, they're going to be excited.
See?
They're going to be excited. They have to know we're not over there drinking coffee every day. Again, we're the Pentagon that are working for them to make sure those military installations have what they need. And at the same time, one other thing, one thing, I'm going to take advantage here. I want to dispel the rumor. People are scared for their jobs. There's no need to be scared for your job.
Listen.
We're not about to cut any teachers or anything like that at all. Those are rumors. Oh, I got to say one other rumor out there.
Get it out there.
We're not, let me repeat, we're not about to close BTW. All right?
You heard that.
You heard that? Got that?
Say it again.
We are not about to close BTW. Those are rumors. And basically, that never comes up. And people, if we try to close BTW, people will come out of their graves.
Oh, yes, sir.
To get
My
us.
father graduated from BTW. Yes, sir.
Another reason for us not to close it. So, but I would say to those teachers, back to your original question, we have not forgot about them. And I'd say that 3% raise, they're probably like, oh, okay, cool. But again, we're presenting a new compensation model. I mean, Trinette, her team, Quentin Robinson, Valerie Nearing, all those people may have put together something that is robust. People like it. We're satisfied, and we know our teachers are going to be satisfied with it as well. And I'll be remiss in saying, when I came here, we were making decisions at the 30,000-foot level, the macro level.
Okay.
But what we did was, we have Karen Vogelsang. She's something new we've done here. And actually, it's a hybrid role. No one's doing it in the country. We felt that we could be making decisions at a 30,000-foot view level without teacher input. And so what I did was, to my staff and the superintendent staff, Karen Vogelsang, the former 2015 Teacher for the Year, she's joined our staff. And superintendent stopped by my office yesterday when she was in my office. He said, well, make sure she's in the C&I meeting. Make sure she's in the Eureka Math meeting. Because what we're doing is, and what our teachers need to understand, you now have a voice at the table that's helping us make better decisions. Because what we were doing is sometimes is making decisions and it would be received as like an allergic reaction. And so we want to make sure with a teacher voice in the room, helping us make decisions. Basically, it'll be more palpable once it reaches the school. We try to be more conscious.
Wow. Well, Jamar, you got any closing words?
You know, we covered a lot.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I just want to thank you for coming out and
Thank you.
and giving us all this information and letting the parents and the students and the teachers know what's going on up there, because a lot of it is a little ethereal. You have an idea of what the board is and what the chiefs do, but you don't necessarily know. And it's really good that you're coming to.
One more thing, we have a parent welcome center. And basically, they can, if you want to find out anything that's going on, Dr. Joyce Ray does a great job running that parent welcome center. Dr. Annie Conway over there. If they have questions about the district, call us.
Yes.
But also, one other plug for I got. I know your hate I got on.
No,
there.
you
I'm
go.
gonna
You
stop.
look,
Keep
look,
going, man.
We shut down the hour for you, so you come on.
We have the communications department under Natalia's leadership, Kyle, who joined us. We have something called the SCS Newsroom. If you go to that newsroom, I mean, even if you're not from Shelby County, you will be stuck there for 30 minutes seeing all the good stories. So back to that parent who says basically,
Show us.
Tell her to go to the newsroom.
Yes, sir.
Tell her to call us.
Yes, sir.
And tell her to come meet with us.
Right.
And we'll be happy to do that. And the one thing you want to know, for the people of Memphis, we work for you. And we work for these children. People need to understand that. And we're working hard every day. And every day, guys, every day, because we want to make a difference in the city.
All right, well, there you have it, y'all. I want to make sure I say on behalf of everybody in this department, I mean, top to bottom, man, we thank you for the work that you're doing. We thank you for coming by and sharing it, because that information that you just gave out, I'm sure just dispelled a lot of stuff that's floating. You know, when your mind is not clear, you start hanging on certain things, but it's like you came and said, and to clear it up and give us that information. So thank you for coming, and thank you for the job that you're doing.
Thank you.
And you still doing. I'm sure you got more work to do once you leave here, but thank you for taking the time out of your day to come here and talk to
It's
us.
an honor to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
Our engineer said thanks for the carpet.
got
You like the new carpet you guys got in
We
here?
love the carpet.
Man, we're doing so many things on different, even down the carpet.
Down the carpet. Yes, sir.
So we make it happen then, Jamar. Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem.
I appreciate
no
it. I'm
problem.
very
Anytime.
appreciative.
All right,
Always
y'all.
welcome.
There you have it. There you have it. We had the man himself, Chief Brian Stockton, here at 88.5 with our new series, Our Narrative, Meet the SCS Chiefs. All right, so we're gonna get back to the music. And Jamar, thank you for letting us come up in here and do this. But we had to break regular scheduled programming to make sure that we get this breaking news event going on. So thank you again. Let's get back to the music. It's 88.5, and I am
You
Brother
got to give
John.
the people what they want.
Oh, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. We got a request.
Yeah,
from the chief.
Yeah, basically that's my theme song for us. Is we got to give the people, and that's the teachers and the parents and the kids, and that's what we're trying to do.
You heard that now. You heard what he said. Now, he done came in here and said he wanted to hear the record. We going to play the record right now. Give the people what they want by the OJs here on 88.5. And remember, this is our theme song. Everybody got to have some theme music, right?
OJs.
There it is. Let's go, y'all. 88.5, the voice of Shelby County Schools.